Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I am your host, Mark Francis. Netflix has renewed its partnership with Archewell Productions. As part of the updated deal, Netflix will also collaborate with Meghan's lifestyle brand As Ever. Meghan said, "We're proud to extend our partnership with Netflix and expand our work together to include the As Ever brand. My husband and I feel inspired by our partners who work closely with us and our Archewell Productions team to create thoughtful content across genres that resonate globally and celebrates our shared vision." Netflix Chief Content Officer Bela Bajaria praised the couple's impact, noting, "Harry and Meghan gave viewers an intimate look into their lives and quickly became one of our most watched documentary series. More recently, fans have been inspired by With Love Meghan, with products from the new As Ever line consistently selling out in record time." The Have I Got News For You account tweeted, "Netflix have signed a new deal that gives them first refusal on Harry and Meghan's show ideas, frustrating rival streamers who wanted to have the rights to say no first." Season 2 of With Love Meghan is set to premiere later this month, with a holiday special to follow in December. In the already filmed new season, Meghan returns with a fun and heartwarming new season, welcoming celebrity chefs, talented artists and beloved friends for hands-on adventures filled with laughter and discovery. Rhiannon Mills, writing for GB News, says why Sussex's new Netflix deal might not be the demotion the critics want it to be. Mills writes, "While we're all desperate to know what this new deal is really worth in dollars and pounds, one thing I can tell you for certain is that Prince Harry and Meghan want us to know that they're delighted that Netflix again wanted to get a deal done. Absolutely over the moon is how it was described to me. Yes, this is a different type of deal from their original one in 2020. Some have argued that a first-look deal looks like a demotion from what they previously signed up to. With no real clarity on how much their original deal was worth, and no numbers being publicly thrown around this time, that is hard to judge. But talking to those who know something about these kinds of deals, you do get a sense it could potentially be more lucrative than it looks on face value. For example, when the Obamas signed a first-look deal with Netflix, the streaming service agreed to pay the operational costs for their production company Higher Ground. Could it be that Netflix are also now covering the costs of Archewell Productions? PR expert Mark Borkowski has a less rosy view, telling the Mirror, "I think Netflix has done a very neat job of pivoting away from two very expensive people who didn't deliver, and they've taken that deal off the table, and they've given them a modest one. It's not like they're gradually uncoupling. It's a downgrade. Netflix are not going to expose themselves to those budgets again, and it's Netflix saying, well, look, let's have a look at your content, but we'll pick and choose, mate." Royal expert Kinsey Schofield concurs, telling Talk TV, "Netflix did not want to have the same egg on their face that Spotify had when they had to admit that they had mismanaged thousands of dollars when it came to offering the Sussexes the Spotify deal." Page 6 reported the deal was for much less, quoting an insider as saying, "It's not much. It's no risk for Netflix, but saves them both reputationally." GB News source said, "It's been frustrating. We haven't been able to say too much and put the rumours to bed during contract negotiations. Some of the reporting shows you how much wild and inaccurate speculation there is around the Duke and Duchess." Royal expert Jenny Bond separately told GB News, "There was no statement from Harry and Meghan and no indication at any point, but we all decided that the Netflix deal was dead in the water. So it's one in the eye, actually, to all her detractors. There's one show that's in the can already. That's her lifestyle show. There's a holiday special about Christmas, and there's the Ugandan documentary. The fact of the matter is, Meghan has won, and we have to eat humble pie." As for Harry, Bond adds, "Harry was mentioned in that only as one of the many producers, quite a long way down, actually, and Meghan is also mentioned there. The rest of it is all very, very vague. I think he has realized that perhaps television isn't his forte. Producing television programs is really not as easy as he might have thought, and he's far better off not on the celebrity treadmill. He's much better using his name for his campaigns, and I think that he is going to be going in that direction with just a little foot in the Netflix camp from time to time." This next story is just ridiculous. The media is floating a notion that Meghan's holiday special will conflict with Kate's annual concert. With all respect to the Princess of Wales, she does not own the entire month of December. The one-off special will show Meghan in Montecito decking the halls, creating holiday feasts, crafting heartfelt gifts and sharing lots of laughs with simple how-tos to follow at home. The announcement promises a holiday wonder with warmth, tradition and a generous dose of joy. Royal editor Matt Wilkinson noted that the program will air in the same month as Princess Kate's Together at Christmas. The Express spun that into a headline, Meghan Markle's Netflix show set to clash with major Princess Kate event. Sorry, Princess, Meghan is also allowed to celebrate the holidays. More Palace in just a moment. To mark 80 years since victory over Japan brought an end to the Second World War, His Majesty, King Charles, will deliver a poignant address honouring the service and sacrifice of the wartime generation. The audio message, written personally by the King, will be released by Buckingham Palace tomorrow morning. The address will echo the words spoken by his grandfather, King George VI, who on that day in 1945 led the nation in giving thanks for the end of global conflict and in remembrance of those who gave their lives. A senior palace source said His Majesty was keen to recognise the duty and sacrifice of our greatest generation, and that he has chosen to mark this solemn anniversary in a manner befitting its historic weight. In his speech at the time, King George VI declared, "Our sense of deliverance is overpowering. I ask you again at this solemn hour to remember all those who have laid down their lives and all who have endured the loss of those they love." This year's commemorations will include a 2-minute silence observed nationwide and a service of remembrance held at the National Memorial Arboretum in Staffordshire. The service, hosted in partnership with the Royal British Legion, will include over 400 members of the armed forces, veterans associations, and representatives from the government. Second World War veterans, including those who served in the Far East, will be among the honoured guests. William and Kate are not scheduled to take part in any ceremonies, for reasons that are still unclear. Secret weapon, Aunt Sophie, one of the working royals who actually does work and isn't constantly on vacation, has paid tribute to one of Britain's oldest surviving Royal Marines, meeting 105-year-old veteran James Jim Wren at his Salisbury care home. Sophie joined Mr. Wren at Old Sarum Manor Care Home for tea and cake, listening as he shared memories of surviving the sinking of HMS Repulse in December 1941, when Japanese torpedoes claimed the lives of 513 crew. "I was having a cup of tea and the alarm went off," he recalled. "The first bomb got right behind me and that saved my life in a sense." Rescued by HMS Electra, Mr. Wren went on to help defend Singapore before being captured in 1942 and enduring more than 3 years in a prisoner of war camp in Sumatra. "We didn't know where our next meal or drink would be coming from," he said. "They had no idea how to deal with prisoners of war, the Japanese." Sophie, patron of the Java Far East Prisoner of War Club 1942, also met 4 generations of Mr. Wren's family and looked over photographs of his late wife Margaret, who spent more than 3 years not knowing if he was alive. Mr. Wren described meeting the Duchess as a great honour. He has joined calls for the anchor of HMS Repulse to be placed at the National Memorial Arboretum in Staffordshire, where the King and Queen will lead commemorations on Friday. Reflecting on his return home after the war, he said, "When we got back, the government didn't want to know and told us not to talk about it." And there you have it. If you'd like to email us, our address is thepalaceintrigue@gmail.com. Please follow us on Spotify, Apple, or the app of your choice. Leave us a nice review if you're enjoying the show. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue, and good times.